think he'd be really loud in headphones. It's okay. It's fine. Oh, right. I should look at that actually as well. Oops. What did I do? Let's do this. Just wondering what our dog's doing out there in the kitchen. I think I'm going to move this to the kitchen too because I'm likely to. Want to put the laptop on the So I just got back from a bike ride recently, and okay, cool. So let's see here. Welcome. So, and I'm just being already distracted, although it looks like the viewer maybe already left, by our dog. I don't know why he gets so excitable. I mean, it is pretty exciting, I must admit. When I'm on a phone call, which isn't super often the way I communicate these days, but of course sometimes, or when I'm doing a live stream, and he starts to get all vocal, and even though he's got food, he's got water, he's been out. So, anywho, and he's been upstairs. Sorry. He's been upstairs a lot today because I was doing a podcast, and then I had somebody here to look at an item that we were selling, and then and then I was out on a bike ride. So just usually we do that. Usually, just to keep him from kind of getting into trouble while we're away, or I'm needing to focus. But thankfully, I just gave him something, a stick to chew, a chew stick thingy. So it actually is. It was just one that he'd previously started, which I didn't remember putting back in the bag. I thought I put it on the one car of the counter, which is kind of the clutter spot. But anywho, so I'm glad I don't have to worry about putting them already back up there or being distracted. So I would like to wait for viewers, because I've already done one podcast earlier. It was kind of long, but kind of distracted. I've also, like I said, just did a bike ride. I'm not the least active or least in shape, but I'm also not the most. Oh yeah, that's kind of funny. I almost want to say that now because I have chest hair, and this will be this will be quite funny. I almost, and I'll just tell him it was right at the beginning of the thing. In the previous podcast, one of the things that we talked about, I'll get that one, I'll remember back later. One of the things that we talked about was cologne and perfume, and I understand that some people are sensitive to it, and I get that. I also understand that some aren't as strong as others, like the aroma, and usually it dissipates pretty fast. It dissolves kind of. I'm gonna go. I guess it's nothing. Yeah, sometimes they're made quite naturally. But would you rather have somebody that stunk because of bad hygiene? No offense to anybody struggling with that. I know that mental health can get very difficult sometimes, and if you're living a stagnant life, struggling with goals, ironically, then that could be something that you relate to, or smell Arithmetic. Anywho, but yeah, so I did this funny thing, and one of our viewers, if he tunes in later on in this, then I'll just say come back to the beginning. But otherwise, yeah, I just want to remember to say it because I didn't realize that I touched my neck so much so often. I know that sounds weird, but why I'm realizing it now is because and it was interesting that it also came up because the spray thing of one of them broke this morning, and I don't even remember. Oh, he randomly was asking about the smell of rain for some reason. Anyway, it seemed to make sense, I guess, in the moment. I just don't remember why now. Anywho, so I have some salt, like a little shaker, seasoning salt. Apparently, I have another one there on the counter, as well as he's chewing it. I thought he was drinking water with all that noise. Oh, but it turned out that was it. Well, which that was one various sizes. Anyway, as well as a perfume thing or a cologne, whatever. And basically, I was not fully paying attention. I was kind of getting my lunch ready. I'd just done that physical activity. I wasn't that tired or like whatever. It is very very nice out, but I should be out in it more. But certain as that. But anyway, and I accidentally picked up the wrong one. Opened the top even, put it on myself, and then I was like, oh wait. So I've got some salt in my chest hair. That's a first. And it wasn't the goal either. But I do want to talk about that. But I'd also like to wait. Oh, you know what? Since they're right here, I know that some people, they're gonna be like, it's interesting. I wonder if some people think that they aren't being listened to if somebody's got headphones on, even if it's in writing. I mean, I guess if the person's replying, then replying in the video, or whatever, then they know that they are. Yeah, it's mixing back and forth with the handles for some reason. Anyway, then they know that they are. But it's just I want to multitask for a few moments. You can skip ahead, uh, to the content, and I'll try and remember to make a note as to where it for you as to where it comes in. But I want to wait till there's people here to talk. And I was kind of watching something else too. And the guy's actually still live. He's been live for probably almost 2 hours now. And I kind of want to chat with him a bit too. So, and this time the headphones are right there handy. And I just think I should do it this way. Whoops. No, you don't. Feels like that should be on the other side. It feels like that would look better, even though I'm right-handed primarily. Although I did hear someone say recently that they're both, and I mean, kind of we all are, but predominant, especially as musicians. Still not showing all of them, but anyway. I just want to wait till there's people here. I didn't remember to put the thing back upstairs. I was in that room. Okay, he may have lost me on that one. That statement. Just a moment. Okay, that just this guy just said that he observes his feelings, but he doesn't really observe his thinking because he's busy thinking. Is that what he just said? You gotta have both happening, otherwise, yeah, like you can't have one without the other. I kind of feel. I'm just saying. Okay, so now I'm not. I don't know if I'm distracted anymore. I mean, if he sees this and is like, I did say something like that. I mean, I don't hate the guy, but I mean, and we can disagree for sure. Um, but I don't know. At the moment, I'm going to wander off. Hopefully, it'll save my spot for later because I'm struggling to make sense of that, and I'm not even sure what I'd ask. But I'm also not watching in real time. I'm finishing from where I left off earlier, and I'm not really sure what I'd ask on that. So it's kind of like, you know, um, other than that, I'm not sure if I entirely agree. But we can all find ways to agree and get along, and that's the main thing. So, but yeah, so I wanted to ask people, things like, do you set goals? And I'm going to put these in the chat for anybody who comes in after I've said it. Do you set goals? Why or why not? Okay, the dog's here, thankfully. Also, what helps? And what else? You already left. What helps? And I mean, you could say that those are two separate questions. I could also say that they are one question, the struggle with, and the whatever the other one was. Oh, who's this? I recognize that channel name. Oh, okay. I don't know if it's going to be any different on the computer as the cell phone. I mean, he's got 17 people watching, but the numbers climbed quite high. Pretty good statistics. 27 of them liked, but I just don't know if he's really going to. Pompa. Um, really chat much, so it's fine. Um, just taking care of something really quickly here, and then we'll go from there. It does look like there's somebody watching, though, I think. So, welcome to the channel. Curious if you've ever been or how you came across it, if you'd like to say. Conversation not forced, but invited. And I'm just finishing up something really quickly before I kind of jump into the topic. So, you're welcome to introduce yourself, like I say. And Islamic World. Hi. Prayers for Islam. How are you? I'm watching from Canada. I mean, I'm rolling from Canada, and I suppose I'm watching as well. um, yeah. Um, so okay, I'll do that and that later. So sorry, ADHD sometimes. Anyway, and at the time when I was doing the stuff, there was nobody here. So, but I'm glad that there's someone here now, and I think you just liked. So, thank you. So yes, the topic, and sometimes I cover a lot of topics. So sometimes I have a lot of time to do these, and I just I I have a general idea, and then we kind of jump around a little bit. Not always physically, but sometimes. Got to have good physical activity too, right? Yeah, I'm good. First time to the channel, and how did you come across it? Uh, I definitely have never seen your comment before. I don't think, and I'm guessing well, people can of all backgrounds can live anywhere. So where are you watching from? Out of curiosity. Um, Anywho, so but the main topic of this one is about goals. Um, and finding common ground. Oh, we got a third like, nice. And also, I kind of had another even more random topic than that. It's weird that we just got a third like, but it only says one person's watching. Anyway, or right. Okay, yeah, I know that somebody that I'm kind of familiar with briefly came in and said they could stay along. So, but hopefully you can because you're the only one here. Anywho, thank you. So yeah, if you'd like to say what whereabouts in the world you're watching from, feel free. And other than that, the other topic was, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you're a dog person or not, but the loyalty of dogs. Um, I'm gonna just get that one out of the way right away. I mean, I could say a lot about it probably, but the only thing that really comes to mind is how great ours is. As I mentioned a little earlier, we keep them upstairs when we really need to focus because sometimes he's just asking for attention, and I mean, I also would like to state that if somebody is saying that they are questioning their life or whatever, please don't think that they're just asking for attention. Or if they're talking about mental health or whatever, like it could be very real and very important to try and support them. Whatever happens with their journey is what's meant to happen, but we can try and support them along the way. Um, but also, yeah, so basically, as I mentioned, he's still somewhat a puppy, and I'm actually just going to move this pillow on this chair here because he looked like he wanted to lay on it. Of course, he sometimes gets up on furniture and moves things around, but hopefully he will go up there since I've done that for him. Oh no, he'll just lay on the floor. Okay. Okay, works for me. Looks a little tidier anyway. So yeah, basically, um, you've already been saying hi, and now I don't know what that emoji's about, but cool, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, basically, I'm talking about dogs. I might want to send a dog one through. Are you trying to send another one, or what's going on here? Anywho, and so he's kind of still in the puppy stages, so he can kind of rummage around a little bit if Kate, let's get back to talking in words because I'm not really I mean, I know what the bottom one says and I kind of know what the first one means, but anywho, and then we had somebody here to look at something we had for purchase, and then I went for a bike ride, and okay, having fun with the emojis, I guess. Anywho, but again, we can have some chat dialogue like we started off, and that's lovely too. Anywho, so Anna came back and went upstairs to retrieve him. Thank you for the I was looking for too. Not connected. I just something I wanted to get while I was upstairs. Because even though I might like a certain fashion style, I don't find it comfortable, and I am going to be with a relative who is a bit of critical sometimes. But anywho, basically, and he gave me kisses. Like I know that he must have known because I was playing music, I was talking. He knew that I was home, but he also was happy to be up there, and like we were keeping him up there for a little while. A very very well loved, very happy dog. Um, so I don't want that to be misconstrued. But anywho, and basically, yeah, gave me kisses. Still, it's like okay, good, you still love me. So that's always nice. Um, Anywho, back to the topic of goals, though. What are your thoughts? I don't know. I don't know how your English is either. Maybe that's why you're mostly talking in emojis. I'm not sure, but I'm wondering. I'm actually kind of no. I don't think I've ever seen it. Okay, it looks like you left, or am I wrong? I don't think I've ever seen it where because I remember once. I don't remember what device I was using at the time, but I remember that somebody put something in a foreign language, and I didn't see a translate option, and I asked. But then I've also heard that uh, it's kind of an automatic setting to dub it or caption option doesn't seem to ever be available for anything I've ever watched or even mine like that really long one I did the other day. It wasn't until a few hours later when I was able to, and it's still not accurate, which is sometimes funny, but well, sometimes it is accurate. But yeah, basically, so I don't see that option, which in a way could be a translate option because there's different languages available there. And I don't see it in the messages either, which is weird. Also, it's weird that there's three dots beside the "I'm fine, how are you," and the other ones only show up when I kind of hover over the comment, but the other one stays there. That's weird. Anywho, but yeah, so basically, I'm not seeing. I mean, I don't know. If somebody put something not in English, I could try and see about translating it, but I don't know. Anywho, point of the matter being, uh, and maybe it's easier as a comment afterwards. That being said, I only really speak English, so you know. Um, but yeah, basically, let's see here. Just gonna pause for a moment because nobody seems to be here right now. And yeah, okay, so yeah, uh huh, yep. Again, I still think this looks which way, and that's the opposite of what it actually is on the camera. For some reason, I still think that looks more right. Not really sure why, but it do. Yeah, not bad. Like in the first 20 minutes. 10 likes. Who knows how? Just speaking sounds very. I know that sounds weird. One comment. It's very much not drama. Yeah, friend from Canada. Yeah, hungry like a buffalo. Oh, just looked at me as he got up. Because I guess I was out. Okay, dokie. Um, so let's see here. I was just kind of it was a bit quiet for a few minutes there. I haven't been rolling super long, so I was just a little bit distracting myself while I waited for a viewer, and we got one. So, welcome. So, yes, the question, and we can talk about other stuff, I suppose, too, if you want. We can also maybe do some music. If you have any requests, and like, I don't like to talk, I don't like music. I came here about goals. You didn't say that, but maybe you did. But either that or you're back. Anywho, so someone's here. Anyways, that's the main thing. So yes, the question that I have there is: do you set goals? Why or why not? The number's dancing around at the top, and I can't tell if. Yeah, do you set goals? Why or why not? And are there any goals that you are specifically have and are struggling with or are working on? Um, that was nice. Make you mod. It's been flickering at the top, and I don't know if sometimes it's inaccurate. I don't know if that means somebody's here or not. But I'm just going to kind of think. This guy, I don't think he has a specific topic either. There's so many of us that actually, whether we have a specific topic or not, we're also kind of just rolling just to have conversations with people. So um, I don't know if he's going to say something that I did tell him what this was about. So nobody else has put anything since actually. So yeah, I have a couple of questions there about. Just one moment. Just one moment. You're welcome to join the chat. I'll be right with you. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. That's all I needed to hear. No, I mean I'm glad to have somebody here now. I haven't been rolling super long, but also someone I discovered the other day. I was just watching his live, and he feels like he's only going to roll for another 8 minutes, and then he'll be over here too. So hopefully I can hold your attention for 8 minutes, and you're welcome to stay longer. And we can talk about various things, and also maybe I'll do some music, but I have a specific topic as well. Um, so yeah, do you set goals? Why or why not? Are there any specific goals that you have that are struggling with or working on? Another question I could ask, maybe, is there any goals you have that you have given up on? Um, I'm thinking of sort of some answers myself as well, but certainly welcome to say it here. What I'm doing for a moment here is just taking the title and the questions and putting them all in one comment, because some people will find this by scrolling lives, like I've been doing a lot of lately. I mean, I've always been an audio, visual, video kind of person. I've often been someone who has enjoyed YouTube, but it's a great way to find a YouTube community and to yeah, connect and all that stuff. And I'm one character too long. I'll take away one of those question marks. There we go. Um, that's weird. I thought that I'd put one of the. I wrote two of them, didn't I? No, the other one. Uh, like I know one person who put one of the likes. The other one is one who was here earlier. I'm not sure if we just took it back because now it says there's two, but there was three. Anywho, point of the matter being, and now it doesn't say that they're watching, so that's a little strange. But okay, that goes there. I like that feature that I've discovered. Like I say, for people that are scrolling that may not see the title, or when I've said something and then I've said it. I mean, if there's enough people watching, I might repeat it, or if it just kind of happens. But otherwise, it's kind of nice just to have it right there at the top, and that way it's there. So, let me think of how I would answer this, and then you're welcome, like I say, to also do so, even before I've kind of said mine. Um, and I definitely would kind of. I'd like to wait till somebody says something in the chat. Like says a hi. This is a great topic or something like that. And if I have to wait for Jerry, I will. I think that's his name, right? I only discovered him yesterday. It's been that long, but yeah, Jerry. But I haven't known him that long either. So, but I was not saying if your name is not Jerry, don't. Obviously, it wasn't saying that. Anyway, so here, Jerry, quick and Jerry. Just kidding. So I don't know. Weird. Anywho, now that one's on the top, well, this one because it was its own separate comment. The other one, I'm not too sure if I. Well, I can remove the first two where they were both kind of like not all in one. The other one, though, if I move this, it might remove that. So, as far as this interchanging handles, I don't know what that's about, but I'm just gonna type him a cool thanks, and also make sure that he remembers. I'm sure he would, but just in case. Because I mean, I'm younger than he is, and I'm still learning to talk, and I'm still sometimes forgetful. So even with the best of intentions, it didn't sound like he was doing anything else anyway. But when he's eating like a buffalo, no distractions, no videos, eating like a peaceful buffalo. I don't know. Yeah, that was his wordings. I was hungry like a buffalo. I've never heard that. He said he's. I wouldn't say he looks Italian, but he says he's Italian. I don't know what I'd say. I think his accent sounds like, but he's also Canadian. So actually, I think Buffalo might be Canadian. Um, I guess she's been really more of a day than I realized. That's the stuff after I replied, so I did say 13 before. It may have, but I'm not gonna have again. Um, kind of feel like that may have been dealt with. Otherwise, I'd probably still be thinking about it. Perhaps. I mean, that's something else that sometimes you just have to learn to let go of things because, yeah, sometimes there's not a whole lot else you can do. But it's always nice when things go well and that everybody's here for and supporting each other. That's always a lovely thing. Um, so that's kind of in a funny position. Our dog's kind of doesn't look like he's laying very comfortably. He's laying on a kind of bunched up blanket with his head kind of near his tail, and it just kind of looks like he's leaning forward in a funny way. Very quick preview. Here you go. So, but I don't know. I mean, this guy didn't sound like he was going to be rolling that much longer, and I don't know really what he's talking about anyway. So I want this to be especially one of dialogue. You know, because I mean I don't have all the answers, and I mean very few of us have all the answers to anything, even the things that we are passionate about or that we like. But we can have some, and I just need some conversation for me to be inspirational, motivational in this one. Hello, Haiti. How are you? Welcome. We're getting names of countries for commenters today. Um, First time to the channel, or how did you come across it? Uh, as I mentioned, this is a yeah, I'm okay. Thanks. Having a pretty good day, pretty nice out. Got a bike ride in, had some nice lunch, did a nice podcast earlier, and I'm doing another one now. I'm from Canada. How about you? Um, so the question at hand, I mean, we could talk about various things, and maybe even I'll do some music. But the question at hand, um, you're from Pakistan, but you live in Saudi. Very Saudi. I've heard of Serbia. I've heard of Saudi Arabia. Do you mean the latter? Oops. Because sorry, I'm just on a laptop there, and the cord fell out. Yeah, I actually have quite a few people that follow me from India and Pakistan. Interestingly, speaking about reaching goals, I mean, we haven't finalized it yet, but okay. Well, I'll keep that in mind then, and we'll do our best. Um, by the way, do you know how to find the translate option if I should need it ever while live streaming? And does it depend what device you're on? One is on. Um, like if I was to look at this for a moment here, of course, if my device is set to English and it's an English comment, then I guess. Anywho, but yes, that's the only language I know. So, um, and have you ever been to Canada? Out of curiosity, um, sometimes I just have a lot of curious questions, or it's kind of like building the connection, the foundation, right? So, like, I mean, I'm kind of curious if you were just scrolling through lives, or if you were looking up something based on the topic, if that's how you found this, for instance. Um, but yeah, I have one friend. He's kind of lives he's a traveler, but more in I think he would say gypsy sense. I mean, he doesn't look like what I would think a gypsy would look like, but it's one of those things, it doesn't have just one look. Just one look. That's a song. I think that's the words to it. Anywho, but he has been in India a few 2 or 3 months ago. I thought he was in Japan. A couple. I mean, maybe he just travels that quickly, and he was in India 2 or 3 days ago when he was singing with his twin brother. But I was messaging him because he'd like to be on my podcast. It looks like you left. Maybe you haven't. And point of the matter is, this update for you all, if you didn't hear it when I was wandering in the other room on the phone earlier. And when I'm on the phone, it's usually very rare, briefly, especially if I'm podcasting. So I mean, it's not. I appreciate it, people respecting the privacy, but oftentimes it's stuff I already have on my mind and might likely say in here anyway. And they're usually pretty brief phone calls. But basically, yeah, he got back to me, and I was asking. I can't remember how I specifically said. Maybe that's how I figured out the math of our time difference so fast. I mean, if he because I don't even know if he actually knew my city, and Canada's a big place. Like, I mean, Canada's a big place, and I don't know if I ever told him, super specifically. Um, and if I didn't, um, when I was watching his earlier, he said he thought it was around 6:30 our time, but it was close at 7:30, but close. Anywho, messaged him, and he got back to me and said that he's currently staying in our capital right now. I don't know if he's even planning to come a little bit more this way, and I don't want to be super specific on here, but so it'll be very interesting if we end up getting to meet him in person. I think he's English, but I just can't remember. But he's originally, I believe, India background. But yeah, that would be really really interesting. I've never really thought about meeting a YouTuber that I know in person. I mean, let me cover them, but he's really cool, so I can tell. But I know that the algorithms are starting to show me more Canadians, but they don't have to. But anyway, it's kind of cool. They actually did show me someone um, that does pottery art in our city, so that was kind of interesting. Although don't know. I think her English wasn't great either, and I'm not entirely sure she realized that I was saying that I was also there. Unless the algorithms have been doing that for her for a while and she just wasn't surprised. One of the two. I also said something about missing my 20s, and she said, okay. I says, are you still in your 20s? She says, no, I'm 30. I was like, so you don't relate to missing your 20s then? Like, oh, okay. That was your response? Just kidding. But, okay, it looks like you may have left, Hobby. I'm not sure. And what's kind of funky is that, oh no, that's, I don't, I'm bad at geography. Are those places close to each other? That's what I'm not sure. Okay, no content on that one. Oh, did she? Um, I think that sent through, but I did it so fast I didn't really fully check. So I'll go in a moment and look. Um, that's not what. Ooh, talk about that muscle shirt though. But I thought it said it would show me. Was it? Did I not just respond to that? Like I said, I just want to make sure. Time let's talk. There was something I was just wanting to check. Jack Black. Okay. Um. Hmm. Speaking about hairstyles and uh, dang, I just can't read. Um. But what's really weird is that both of these individuals don't have any content, and I honestly can't tell if they're trolls or not, um, because they both didn't stay long. They both instead of how are you, it said what about you. Um, didn't do as many emojis, but didn't really, still didn't really say very much. I mean, I appreciate him saying nice work. I really do. Maybe what's his name decided he was going to eat first and then come. He can eat all his here. I'm not complaining. Um, maybe he just. Oh, there's Mr. Bean again. Maybe he just. That looked a little bit funny. He's holding this big yellow stick with his thing on it. And it was a balloon. There was a funny little tip on it. But yeah, maybe he just felt like his English wasn't good enough to keep up. I don't know. I don't know what he felt, but that's the truth. Speaking of, there's the guy that once he started to have non-English people turn into his that was speaking languages he knew turned into. But if his English wasn't as good, I guess I get it. What was she doing last time I saw her? I definitely recognize that name. I didn't ever chat with her. I'm bored. Can you tell? I'm waiting for people to comment. Hmm. Did he finish his video in 8 minutes like he said he was gonna? I'm not saying he was lying, but did he stick with the plan? Is what I'm asking. I know there's a couple that just load black screens, so yeah, I think that may have been it. So yeah, hmm. I like that where it goes into his skin. I think that's what that is. Um, so just in case it's not who I think it is, who will probably say hi. It's been a little quiet here, and I think I don't know if we've had to give it trolls or not. But anyway, point of the matter being, as you can see, okay, it left. It looks like so whatever. Ball of pine cones. That would not be my choice of color for glitter, I'll tell you that much. Glitter, glitter. I will before I wrap up, though, just in case anybody's skipping ahead, wondering if I'm actually going to get to the topic, and because they're curious or whatever, and I will before I wrap up, try and say a bit on the topic, and then yeah, I think I already looked at some of these. I have to, well, I'll look at some of them with G again later, and then we can go some of them. So. Mm-hmm. Holy smokers! I mean, she's kind of attractive, and she looks like she's wearing very short shorts, if not even panties, and she's curling her hair. She's got nice long blonde hair, but this chick has, I don't know how long she's been rolling for either. I know you can roll about I think the maximum is 8 to 9 hours, but I would never do that. I promise, even if it looks like sometimes I might. But she's got so they're all watching her. That's what the thing is. That's why anybody else who's podcasting right now. Wayne Bailey, just kidding. But 273 people watching and 107 likes. But then again, that being said, that's not even half. So, but who cares? Is she doing something that's enjoyable to watch? Are people enjoying themselves? You know, and being kind and respectful to each other. I mean, that's what it's really about. But what's going on? I want to hear. I want to hear because nothing much is going on here. Well, yeah, you usually can't. Now the dog's laying kind of the same way, but with his neck kind of bent funny. Just to give you an update. Your hair looks fine. I don't think you need to straighten it anymore. Just saying. I mean, just very quickly because Lee, if he sees this, might be curious about her hair. I mean, it's long, standard long blonde hair, but there you have it. No, for some reason I just caught this on the corner of my hand like it should be like this. So yes, right-sided because I'm primarily right-handed. She doesn't know if it's hockey season or she can get away with wearing a hockey jersey yet. Then again, I'm not a huge hockey fan myself, so I couldn't tell you either. But that big furry Mike looks a little funny. Is she talking English? She has an interesting voice, bit of a list and very pronounced speaking. Um, I don't know if she has a bit of a sore throat right now, and that's why she sounds like that. The dog is very briefly, but he's back over there. No, God, you have a tattoo. I don't know if this would be better not with headphones. Let me just see.
Some crazy deals for Black Friday in countries. Weird. Now, next one is from Iceland. Discount.
No offense to anybody who talks like that, but I mean, it's a little bit kind of like that other guy's accent, but and what's even worse, again, no offense, that's her voice, whatever. Um, but it's even worse for people that are trying to worse in people that are trying to lead meditations, I would say. Um, but okay, I need to play something in my ears right now or be talking. And I think I'd rather do the first for right now. She has a nice deep voice, though. Kind of, sort of. Vaping on screen. Read title and description, stick on title. That one's specific. I don't think she has an accent, but she's just saying a lot of people ask her online in person about her accent. That's what she sounds like. Every person.
Me, where's that accent from? I have no fucking clue.
Okay, then. I guess we won't find out.
Countries in me. I have traveled too many countries.
Oh, no, don't get her. Yeah, but I don't like that, like savage. Did I just say that out loud? Oops. This guy I've seen before. He has very blue eyes, couple neat piercings. Very, I don't know if he's wearing any kind of eye makeup, but very bold look. And the other day he had so much like cured salami and meat sitting in front of him. It was like, my goodness, like a lot, like a party amount. I hope he wasn't planning to eat it all himself in one sitting. He is called Big Appetite, guys. So, huh, funny. Here's somebody else getting their hair done. I found one barber. For some reason it's got that circle, and then suddenly it thinks that that's like an interest I have. I don't know. Does anybody have ideas as to where she should put her phone? I guess if you don't podcast very often, you might not be very good at figuring those things out. Is that the glove guy that I keep hearing about? Or that show fly? No, that doesn't look like it's very good quality, whatever the heck it is. I'm also, wherever I can get the inspiration, then I'll be off and running. Uh huh. You hit a button on your phone, it shows you how many people are watching, doesn't it anyway? Oh, I think you just mean you press the phone. 4 people. But somebody's only seeing 6. Do you need you? The math ain't mathing. 50 people, 22 reactions. Like if we have 50 people, we should have 50 thumbs up, 50 new subscribers. He says, notice I say we, not he, should have 22 likes. Dumbest questions are the ones you don't ask. Kind of agree with that. Um, there was somebody very briefly there, but like very brief. I'd like to put myself in, but I don't want to get there yet. All unique beans, but very similar ingredient. Pretty cool. Sniper. I don't know what that was about. I didn't understand. And it's another one of those things. Usually I can think of a question to ask. That's one I really can't. This is interesting though. I mean, fake nails and really big nails. I don't understand how women ever do anything with them, or guys that wear them for that matter. Um, but those kind of look neat. Kind of look neat. They kind of look like granite countertop too, but a little bit. But she's got a prosthetic finger that she's kind of instructing on. Prosthetic and aesthetic. I'm just adjusting how I'm sitting. You don't have to get too excited, Sonny. Nothing much happening in this video, unfortunately. This is very interesting, though. Just came across one where it's showing some food on a stove top. It looks like cranberries or a bunch of pills. I don't know what that is. I have not even a guess really, other than not appetizing. This could be content in itself. I'm being respectful and not sharing it like visually. Anyway, I don't like to type with these on because I hear the click click a lot more. But anyway, so it's facing the food, but he's playing guitar. I'm just gonna see if he. Wow, 4 comments have came in since. Best comment around here. Let's see my name's good. Yeah, I don't know if he realized that the camera's facing him or not. But we do have somebody here. I'm just looking for one thing I saw in this chat that, and I'm also listening to see if he answered my comment, as I would do if you put one. So welcome, welcome. Uh, but okay, that's kind of odd though that he likes that. 170 viewers, not even likes. Did you guess that I just found a music one? Oh, there's people dancing too. It's so interesting to see other people's worlds, whether they're just podcasting at home or you're just. Yeah, that sounds like my mic to me. Or whether they're out somewhere doing something. As long as they're trying to enjoy being in the present moment too. Mullet devotional? It's actually fairly comfy. I don't wear them very often, but oh, that's really ironic. And I saw some signs. I'm probably shouting because this is on. But he's looking at posters in his garage. I was just looking at posters in our basement. But I'm not liking the paper movement. And it's one thing if you're doing it yourself. I'm still sometimes sensitive, but it's one thing if you're doing it yourself. It's another thing if you're hearing someone else doing noisy things, right? I kind of feel like, oh, um, I don't understand why sometimes in chats it doesn't, it puts the Canadian flag and other times it doesn't. Sometimes if you don't type it full. This guy looks like he has some sort of disability, but he also looks like he's DJing from his bedroom. I don't imagine he has anybody dancing there, so it's for himself and his viewers, but I'm wondering if he's going to say anything to anybody. Not putting the guitar either for Rock On. Murder Coke plate? What kind of thing does that say, really? I mean, if they think he's an addict, I think you can look at him pretty easily and realize that he's in a wheelchair and has some sort of disability. The way he's kind of. Like right there, like this to the music. I'm just a little bit curious about this one and what other kinds of stuff he might post about. Yeah, he's in a wheelchair. A DJ in a wheelchair. That's very cool. Very, very cool. But I wonder, does he ever talk in his videos or just DJ? And as a musician, I do support live musicians before I support DJs, but it's not that I don't support them. Hmm. Although I didn't like that title. Then you go back and you find the options. I get to put this in soon, but hopefully I'll be able to focus on the topic at hand soon too. Very interesting. They're like white nails and black tips. I like her eye makeup too, actually. I think I like that more actually, but I think that one came in paused. Somebody's pissed. Hmm. Hmm. Of course, people know what that means. Oh, trolls. A bit delayed from the I think she's kind of I think she's kind of looking for. I love the accent, though. She does sound a lot like my grandmother. That could be like smoking. I do like her personality. Very quirky, this lady. Very, very quirky. And Scottish. Oh, I got a third like again while I was away. Oh, but then it disappeared just now as I looked at it. That's bizarre. That's really bizarre. Not taking chances with drugs. Okay, we got somebody here though, so maybe it was you that had liked it and then it accidentally took it away. I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm. Uh, but then it doesn't show that you're here again. I don't know what the heck's going on, but it's really odd. As long as I find it by Wednesday. Well, I also want to make that. Okay, here it is. It's kind of like you. Not stressing out. This looks like eye filter. That time, wouldn't you? This is weird. A little bit weird. So this lady, she's all going on about something that she went through, this and that. And then she says, I'm not stressed. And she kept saying she was an actor, a good actor, tells about, and you whatever, this and that. And then she says, uh, what did she say? Is this one almost might be one worth hearing? I don't know. Is that a phrase in Scottish? A cot. A cot. I'm actually really kind of afraid about one aspect of this, come to think of it. But what's the name? Mm. Mm. Oh, Well, see, she read the shorter one, even though that one was only 3.5 lines long. Well, yeah, that's true. She didn't have a filter either. She read Deep Plan to Street, read Dream much longer, I stress much longer. So she's pretending to be stressed about a girl, even though it's something that did something bad. Love to hear the poems and the singing, that's for sure. nicest person you could ever meet. Okay, so I was just multitasking for a little bit there, but yes, the main question of this, and then we can have a conversation about it, and I might do some music. I'm not sure as well, but um, okay. So get left. Okay, I won't say anything further. Can this be heard outside the headphones? Which is great, but kind of loud. It's like you got a. She's like, I got a bad. She's got a bad temper. She's got ADHD, which is the nice person you could ever meet. I don't think bad temper and ADHD actually are. Sure, somebody can be both, but I don't think that they are exclusive to each other. I think that's the word I'm looking for. In your head, right, right. She's saying take no notice of certain really one reaction, and then she goes on about it. It's been watching you for 3 weeks, and the first week was so funny, great. Then you make it up about everybody. That laugh was great. It's just so weird. That third like showed up again. Doesn't show anybody's watching though. That's so strange. So strange. Explain it. Explain it to me, please. I'm asking nice. I suppose if you're going to do that, I don't know if the other stats are accurate, but I wonder. Yeah, it's weird. Why people don't say that you think it's scared? That's weird. See, she's like, if you want to, instead of saying, well, that's not about you, because she just said so. She black people with the rude or the trolls. They said, well, well, why not just black with the rude and the trolls? There's something about it I like, though. I don't know if it's just the accent, but I can't remember every single person that comes back. She's got 24 people watching it right now. It's a little bit, and 31 likes, but I mean, these kind of things vary, but it's a little bit annoying because I have none watching right now. We might see content later, though. I'm deciding. Oh. She has a mod that blocks every single person. Okay, well that I'm not too sure. Um, see you later. If you don't like it, she's mad at him. She's like, see you later. I don't know why there's 17 people. There's quite a few chatting, but I don't know what they're getting from it. I don't know what I'm getting from it. there's something that makes me feel bad for this lady. There's something that I like about her, and it's the accent. I think that's really what it is, and the curiosity. Yeah, she doesn't seem to know how to do it with her mind, which is sad. But no, well, I can't say for sure, I suppose, but it doesn't seem like there's anybody here. So, usually that's accurate. So, have a good time with her. She seems like she's been kind of dramatic this whole time. Then I was talking about shopping. Down to earth. And just people. I guess she just feels like she didn't have the help of the mind and just kind of worries about other things. But she does have people trying to make helpful suggestions, so I'm a little bit confused. But there hasn't been a whole lot happening in this one, unfortunately. And we'll keep working on it, and in the next week or two, I'll make my decision. I know it's I said it earlier in the other one. I think I just wanted to run through the things. Maybe I'm doing a little bit there. So sorry, I was a little bit distracted here. This one's been a especially quiet one. It's been kind of odd actually, but yes, the questions as you can see. Oh, hello. Hey man, I hope you're doing good. Thanks for stop. You're the one that stopped by. Oh, Jesus is asking. You're the guy that was doing the headstands. Is that right? If I'm remembering correctly. Oh, stopping by on your channel. Um, okay. I am by actually. So I want to kind of focus on this. I might have to just marry because this was very a very distracted one. It was more quiet than usual, like I say. I mean, sometimes it is, but um, and so I was watching other lives. I'm watching this lady in Scotland, and she is amusing, but I really don't know what to think about what I'm watching. And what I wanted to do was this video, which is, and I'm really glad to have you here, which is on the topic of goals. Um, yeah, it was really nice watching you the other day, but then I noticed that it ended abruptly as if your phone died or something. I don't know. And then a lot of people, their videos were private right after, and I think it's an accidental thing, but I don't know. Anyway, is there any? Okay. So the questions are, aside from that topic about dogs, is do you set goals? Why or why not? Any goals that you specifically have currently, or that you're struggling with? Any goals you specifically have and are struggling with, or are working on? And then there's also a question that I put about, are there any goals that you've given up on in your life? Um, with that latter one, my hope in asking is not only to maybe relate a little bit, but to maybe help you find a bit of hope in them again. So, yeah, I was going to, it's right up on the screen. I was going to put the light on. The dog was down here for a moment, but he's just went to lay down now, so it's good. Yeah, so that's it's in the very top comment too. So, and I appreciate if you like and or I guess you probably have subscribed. The notification, either that or you just went to your chat and came to it from there. But glad you're here. I can't roll super much longer. Another maybe 30, 40 minutes. I don't know. I mean, he was away from work for a week, but not always just Friday, but usually just Fridays. He gets home early, but he's personally, I don't set goals because I do like to go beyond my expectation. Okay, in what types of things? Um, I mean, I would say, okay, yeah, and I like I say, I'll be wrapping up soon. Really glad to have you here. It's been kind of quiet, so if you can stay for another 20 minutes, I'd be happy. And then I have to get on with my evening anyway. But yeah, as far as expectations, I mean, hopefully not kind of connecting it to that statement. Okay, cool. As far as expectations, like it's good to challenge yourself. It's good to push yourself. I do agree with that. I'm curious. Well, have you been? Do you do like other like acrobats, gymnastics? Have you been doing it for a long time? Have you been a YouTuber for a long time? There's some curious questions I have, but and what are your next plans for your next videos as well? Sorry, a lot of curious questions. Getting to know each other. Foundation not really started a year ago. Okay, and to the other questions, I'll let you get to those. And I think what I'd really like to do, I mean, it's not all about me, but this is my channel. I am the one posting it. And the truth be told, I did post this video. Okay, cool. Well, hopefully you have good luck with that. I did post this video because I had a couple things on my mind. And I sort of alluded to them in the video I did earlier today, but I think at the time I was talking about them, there was a couple of friends. One of them I kind of mentioned on your stream actually. There was a couple of people that did chat on that video, but when I was talking about that, they weren't there. So it feels a little bit repetitious, but basically, um, basically, okay. Well, what I would say is, how do I look at goals? How do I operate with goals in my life? Thanks for the heart, by the way. I've never really thought to verbalize it, but if I was going to, I would probably say, first of all, I do encourage people to set goals for the most part. I think if, it's interesting when I connect it to the thought of like one's calling, right? It's kind of like you can have goals in your life and then maybe decide that they're not a goal anymore, but they keep a part of your life. Like they keep coming back up, you know. Um, do you see a connection between these two? Like I kind of am doing so. But the thing of the matter is that um, I can understand. I've heard people say that they don't set goals because it can lead to disappointments, and I get that. I do understand that. Um, and but at the same time, I also kind of feel like if you're not striving for anything, you're just existing. And not that that's all terrible, but it's like, how do you decide when a goal is no longer a goal that you have? And how do you decide what you should put in place of those goals? Kind of, but I found my purpose in working out. Yeah, and actually, you're in really good shape, man, considering that you said that you just stretch and do those. I mean, you have to have good arm muscles for that. I mean, my arthritis would probably not let me do it, to be quite honest. But no, I mean, goals, purpose, they connect. When you have certain goals and you're struggling to reach them and have a sense of purpose, it's very. Don't mind my arms crossing, by the way. It's very much. See, it's a good thing. I mean, I was distracted. I'm glad I stayed. I'm glad it kept rolling. There was a couple times I almost said I'm just going to wrap this one up, and then you came, so that's great. Um, so yeah, basically, like I'm musical. If there's a song request you'd like to hear, I'd be happy to do it for you. I don't know if you're into holiday music, but I could do almost anything else. I just pull it up on my device and follow along on the chords. But not much. I honestly just let God. Okay, right, right, right. And I do realize that you are, faith based. Thankfully, very open minded and loving, and that's always a great combination. But and be the leader who tells me to stop, what to do and what not to. See, this is the thing that I'm confused about: is how do you know? How do you know when that's what you're being told, and when it's your own mind? Like I'm agnostic. Okay, I believe in God. I believe in a creator, but I don't believe He's Almighty. I mean, you look at the things that happen in the world. Sure, you could say it's the other side of things. Okay, yeah, but then also, I'm just going to turn on a light in this room. I think it's a little bit dark at the moment. But then also, the world is a huge, huge place, and it's all his fault. It's a huge, huge place, and I just really don't think any being can reign power over it and make everything work out for everybody. I mean, clearly it doesn't, at least not all the time. Well, I mean, we can't expect for it to all the time either. But unfortunately, some of us deserve better than um, what we often get. like I say, like with this example, with this topic, sure, I had a certain idea in mind, but it was also to help other people reach goals. And I sat here for two something hours. I had a couple people who I thought may have been trolls. I'm not sure, or just bad with English. And I've not been able to help anybody, you know, and it doesn't feel great. But I don't really choose. I just think I don't care too much to let things come in and corrupt my life. That's why I have stayed faithful almost. Um, I understand what you're saying about things corrupting your life, I guess, but it's all a matter of mindset, I guess, in some ways, and how you take things. But I want to get your input on something, especially. So, it's one reason why we sometimes struggle to set and maintain goals, and it's hard for people who are very goal oriented, is when a lot of the times, or fairly often, but not necessarily fairly, because when you said something about expectations earlier, I almost said I don't think it's wise to have them. I almost actually wonder if expectation is just another word for goal. Uh, but basically, okay, so something to know about me. Okay, I don't drive. I'm not very much into bars. Our transit system sucks, and I'm self-employed a little bit, but mostly struggling with employment. So I can't afford cabs, and also there was some cab scams going on for a while there. So if something is not easily accessible, I can't do it. That makes it hard to reach goals. Now, when we're talking about music, and this is why I'm thankful for YouTube and the community, but sometimes it's more active than other times when I post. Um, I have a possibility of getting a gig somewhere. There's an event that I'm going to be going to. I'm thinking maybe they'd like somebody to play 2 or 3 Christmas songs. It's a Christmas event. And I'd like to ask. And I'm glad that it took a moment to think um, who it was that I should speak to. And it's not someone I'm super familiar with, but I have met her a couple times. I feel like I might be kind of jinxing it, but I'm jinxing it just by thinking it sometimes. And I don't know what answer I'm going to get. And I don't know if the answer I'm going to get is the answer that's going to stick until after the event happens. And then it's a guarantee. I mean, as long as, I keep living and, all that stuff. Right. Um, so that's where I'm at with this. It's kind of like I want to call and offer this, and there's plenty of notice, and I hope they say yes. On the other side of things, I'm kind of like, what if they say no? Or what if they say yes and change their mind? And what's an important part of that, I would also say, is again, I don't like bars, going to bars very much anymore. I used to go to karaoke clubs, but that was a long time ago. I was a little younger, um, you know, and I am on the autism spectrum, kind of. So the noise, the drunk people, a lot of the times, some drunks are all right, but some, yeah. So I don't get gigs often. And G and the GNC, it was showing both handles, has some of the same struggles. So, I mean, if we didn't, maybe we'd have some expanded horizons. But so I don't get gigs very often. It's almost as if I can't afford to get that no. By the way, thanks for letting me be your moderator. I'll do my best. It's a sense of purpose. I appreciate it. I'll do my best whenever I see your videos. I'd be happy to make you one actually too, whenever you're able to help, because I only have 2 right now. I had one I had to let go, one that's not on very often, and one that seemed to be fairly regular, but it's been about a weekish, maybe 2. And I post every day. It seems like you're worrying about things that will happen. I just want you to know, don't worry too much, because whatever happens in God's. Of course, I'm worrying. I mean, it's normal. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. I'll just make a standard mod. My main request in doing that um, is that if I'm playing music and I can't see certain comments, if anybody's being rude or seeming like they're being spammy or troll, I did not seem to update it. Or do you have to do something first? I mean, you did it with mine pretty quickly without asking, but I'm fine with it. Yeah, then to just put them on timeout, and otherwise I'm ADHD. I'll keep up with the comments and I'll manage it. Cool. Yeah, because like with this lady in Scotland I was watching, she was desperately waiting for her mod to come and help her with a couple things, and she didn't seem to know it herself, and it just didn't. I mean, some people were trying to be helpful, but she just kept going in these circles. But anyway, yeah. So no, it's normal to worry. To know whatever happens is God plans for your life. I mean, again, this is where I go back to. I look at all the struggling people in the world, and I think I'm pretty sure God wouldn't want that, especially if they're good people. This is a good way to put it. Especially if they're good people. So like, He's not almighty. You know, He gives us free will and choice and ability, I would say as well. And it's kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I mean, suggest some songs to me. I'll sing them for you. And not to toot my own bugle, as I say, but I think you'll think I'm pretty talented, and I feel like it's a gift from God. Why am I not getting a chance to do more with it? Again, thankful when I get to do it on YouTube and people are appreciating it, but it's definitely at a very small level that it's even being noticed. You know, there's another thing which I don't know what you think about it. I guess I don't anyway until you say, but I don't know if I mention it or not. But it's done out of love and a healing energy and heart and stuff. And I mean, it does great things for me. I'd like it to do things for other people too, and it does occasionally. But I see other people that are so much more successful in what they're doing, and I don't, I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong if I am. Yeah, I get it. Why do bad things happen to good people? But these things happen to bring you back to Him or to make you grow strong. Well, yeah, it definitely helps you grow stronger. Sometimes weaker first, though. But these to bring you back to Him. Not sure if I'm following that. I mean, as a person of faith, it would make sense that that's when you return to Him. But there's a song right there actually. Uh, I only talk to God when I need a favor. And only telling God I ain't got a prayer. Who the heck am I? Who am I to the stranger? Yeah, got a little singing in at least. You're welcome if you have a favorite Christmas song or something else you'd like to hear. And I hope you hit the notification bell also so that you see when I'm live. It's once or twice daily usually. This might be the only other one I do today, but we'll see what happens with the evening. I know this one. Yeah, I think it's Jelly Roll or Teddy Swims. I confused the two. I even think they do look alike if I recall. So that might be part. I mean, but yeah. So I get it. Why do I think these things happen? But yeah, otherwise, I mean, I try to have faith. I try to allow the universe and powers that be, like to be honest, here's another thing, and it kind of goes to the other part that I was saying. I feel like something that God has given me, it's on one side of things, it's very sad. I've had a lot of people pass away in my life, some of them quite young. My own father is one of them. um, and I still remember when his mother, I'm just going to be honest and real with you because that's how I am. Okay, so I I hope that we can find some understanding in this, even if it takes a bit of effort, because it's not a bad thing. I mean, and some religious people do accept it, so I hope you're one of them. First, I'll stop by saying I really appreciate you being here, even though it's just on YouTube, because even if you ever see me seeming like I'm talking to someone and you're not sure who it is, those are my angels of loved ones that have passed away, and but they're still not in the physical. And even though you weren't, I'm happy I've seen you on video. You've seen me now, and whether it's in person or online. And these days, I'm a bit more in the online world. I'm trying to navigate and figure out what things I want to do next in my life and how to get there, like I say. But I have been gifted with being able to keep a connection with my loved ones, even though they passed away. It's not all the time, but one of the things that I experienced is my grandmother passed away before I was even born, and many years later, I met her spiritually, and this came up actually in somewhat recent podcast. She says to me, "I know it was really hard, darling, or my dear, when you lost your father, so I could get him back." Brother, I believe in. I guess that's another word for it, channeling, that kind of thing. You lost your father, so I could get him back. And in fact, I almost kind of feel her here right now, and she's saying, "I just want to take a moment to, say hi to you and your viewer, and say that that wasn't very fair, right? To have that happen to you, um, because." She says, "I've been watching and I can see how much you really do need your father. But we have to accept the things that happen to us in our life and do the best that we can with them." And it's true, isn't it? I mean, we should be all trying to help each other and bring good to each other's life and lives. Uh, but thank you. But life is messed up sometimes. It just is, and I'm just being real when I say that, right? So, like, yeah, I want to call about that gig. It's at an agency that I started to go to when a 32-year-old friend of mine died of diabetes, um, and she, yeah, but I'm afraid that I'm just afraid. I definitely know that I'm going to do it. I am going to do it because not doing it would bother me just as much. But um, when am I going to do it? I thought it might be today. They're probably closing very soon, and I don't think it's going to be today. Part of me would rather do it sooner to the event because that's less time for them to change their mind. But like I tried to do a gig at a mental health suicide prevention event, and they even checked. And then he says, "I don't know what kind of stuff you do." Well, I thought you checked it. I think he was open to checking it out, but he had other people he had to make the decision with, and they just all agreed without even looking really that. Oh, it's just a moment. You can do whatever you put your mind to. What special? Just want to make sure you're still hearing me okay. Got a little bit of an indicator at the top that the connection is unstable. So just want to, okay, it's back. Okay, the connection was just wonky for a bit there. Yeah, so it's kind of like, I want to do it, but I don't know. Oh, yeah, so basically, it went from, okay, well, how do we check out the channel? I did a very specific one for that. He had it open. He was all for it, but he said he had to talk to a couple other people in a meeting just about the event in general. They hadn't actually been. They had wanted to have entertainment, but they hadn't found anything. Not that hard if you look, actually. But anyway, and so then he says, it's just too soon to the event happening. I was going to do like 5 or 6 songs. I would have picked them up myself, got them ready, followed the music, got myself there, possibly on a bike, but whatever, with all my equipment. I don't know, but and there was no planning they had to do. They just had to give me the yes and put me in a slot, essentially. And it just didn't happen. I have these difficulties setting goals or these anxieties or whatever because of things that have happened. Not to say that good things haven't happened, not to say that I deserve those things or I'm not trying my best. It's just, like I say, sometimes not great things happen to great people, right? You can do whatever you put your. I'd like to think that, but sometimes it doesn't seem like it. So when you made me the mod today, I must admit you made, and I'm sometimes still learning features, this and that, and I think I want to know about black people because I get anxious. Sometimes it's like I see somebody, and I mean, you're welcome to interact with them if you like, but I may be a little uncertain of them myself, kind of thing. But yeah, it's kind of like it's a sense of purpose. It's I'm happy to help you out there. To be quite honest, even if it wasn't made a mod, I'm kind of doing that for myself and making sure that everybody's being nice and respectful and all that. Like so now, I don't use Discord. I think it sounds funny and I don't know much about it. It sounds great, but I keep up with plenty as it is. Um, but oh, really? Yeah, okay. And what kind of things do you think that might be? Because he hasn't been telling me that I've noticed, and I'm pretty aware. I'm, always looking for signs and symbols, and where I do see them is from the angels quite often, actually. But I mean, I know they wish the best for me. I've often felt like they don't really know what else to suggest. Although I would say that this 32-year-old friend of mine has been precipitating me going to workshops. I actually attended something you might find quite cool, actually. My first pipe ceremony. And there's another one coming up next month. That's actually part of the event I want to get the gig at. Um, Nobody else is watching, I believe, so it's not like I'm giving them the idea to put the pieces together. And have you ever been to one before? You said you're part Cherokee. By the way, I live with somebody who is a flutist. We have some indigenous flutes or native flutes. We have, I'll just quickly flash this at you, our dog and pan flutes. Was that your mod that asked you to take your shirt off, by the way? I love him. Just kidding. um, and you did so quickly. But then you were like off camera for a moment. I was like, what are you doing? Maybe that's where you need to go. But so that's just one example. That's a one thing and then it's finished thing. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm going to go to it because I enjoyed it before. There's free food. Oh, is he in the community as well? What community, or did you just feel other people are going to want to see it? He's wrong. Just kidding. But yeah, so he plays various flutes, some Irish flutes too, I think. Piano, guitar. I play guitar, harps. Don't remember if you said you're musical or not. I don't know if I asked actually. Um, we recently got this giant marimba. He's just my calisthenics brother. I don't know that word. We are a group of three and do. I almost know that word, but I don't know that word. Three and do calisthenics and whatnot. I like that whatnot, but not what I think it is. No, it's good. No, I don't play music, but I did play guitar. Why'd you stop? I would love to hear you play. Okay. Um, yeah. So, um, anywho, and then what was the other one? Right. I wanted to have a show in a theater festival, but my health, something I experienced last summer, and I don't know. They random draw. That's the biggest one. They random draw. I don't mind random, but if it's a matter of am I going to have a successful opportunity or not, I want the guarantee. Once I get it, I most likely have it, but it's, and my friend Ray, the one that passed away, she said, as long as you can handle the rejection, go for it. And I'm not sure I can. I think if you had asked me in my 20s and my teens, I actually probably would have. I was doing better, I think, in some ways, and I probably could have been like, okay, I've got lots of other things. It's the need for these things now, and it's like the need for these things now. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's and like I don't know why God would give me abilities if he's not wanting me to actively use them. I do my best on here, but there's got to be more than that. And that's been the hard part. I'm also a life coach. I love helping people when I get the opportunity. Self-employment is not always easy for some of us. But let me, I would always tell people, if you ever give up, you will eventually. My world is always tell people is if you never give up, you will eventually get it. Okay, but in those words come patient. And that's something that I've also that word's been coming up a lot too, not just because we were at the doctor's a couple of times recently, but no, I mean it's a hard one too. And it goes with some of the stuff I'm saying. I mean, like sometimes we have no choice but to be patient, but it's certainly not fun sometimes. I mean, it can be, um, but it's. I want to sing one more song for you. You have a favorite Christmas song or just another song request? I'd like to just do whether it's on an instrument or whatever. By the way, why did you stop playing guitar? You know, it's a great hobby. I've almost stopped doing music because I've been struggling to reach goals. But then I think that, it's nice when I can do it here. Like I say, it's nice. And that's actually the only time I really do it is when I'm coming on live stream with it, mostly. But yeah, chapstick if you're curious, chapstick if you're not, is my line as far as that goes. But yeah, I'm enjoying chatting. I realize you probably have to leave soon, but anything based on the last bit of stuff that it just said there. Um, and yes, I need to decide when I'm going to call about trying to get that gig. And then what am I going to tell myself after? I was talking to someone the other day who said, "Well, I think that she wanted to challenge me, but it was more of a suggestion." She said, "I think you just need to be proud of yourself for trying." Sure, I'd be prouder of myself if I get the opportunity. You know what I mean? So I think I need a little bit more after I make the call. Maybe this is what I really am asking here, as I sit up and get all into it. After I make the call and put this offer out, I mean, obviously, if I get a no, then do I try harder? Mentioning how it's difficult to get opportunities sometimes, but if I get a yes, what can I tell myself so that I don't worry too much that they're going to? I don't know. One nice thing though, I must say, is that because it's a Christmas thingy, kind of. Um, Most Christmas events would like to have a Christmas music. Now, sure, they could say it's just as easy to put a CD on or the radio, but no, I think this would be very nice. And my friend Ray, who passed away, was a karaoke host, and like I say, it's been great that she's been involving me at this center. But it's still kind of new. It's been a year, but it hasn't been every month. Well, it wasn't for maybe the first 2 months. Then it's been the hamper. Guitar was fun, but it wasn't a skill I was good at until I worked harder towards my goal. I just thought I was doing too much thing. Was a skill a goal connected to guitar, or skill I was good at until I worked harder towards it? Just forget about all the things you worry about. Just sit in silence and pray about it. What I usually do is pray or forget everything that could go wrong, but go for it. Just forget about all the things you worry about. I mean, easier said than done, man. Just sit inside. I mean, you know, things have been at a bit of a slower point in my life, a bit of a more stagnant point these days, kind of, sort of. December's got a few things, but I mean, we don't have a very alive. I mean, much of them have passed away. Local, close family, big even. So, I mean, we might see Gia's sister. I know you'd like to see my mother and my step. I feel a little bit mixed about it. Um, they're kind of, I get along with most people, but they're a little difficult to get to be around. Um, and I mean, I'm a very well-rounded individual. That's why I get along with most people. I mean, well, one reason anyway. But basically, so I have a lot of time to think in my head. Um, and maybe that's not it. And the other thing is I'm a great multitasker. Like, sure, if I'm out and about walking or on the bike, I can be absorbing what's out and around me, but I can also still be in my head. You know what I mean? And it's like, and rumination when things are not being dealt with, or things are not coming to fruition. it's just, but like I say, certain goals, like I'm always musical, I'm always a spiritual healer, I'm always this. And people talk about manifesting all the time. I have one friend that specifically does. And it's like, well, in a way, I've kind of been manifesting for a long time, but not actually manifesting most of the time. There's a lot of people doing the things that I'm trying to do. And if you don't get the right, it's not that I'm getting a bad reputation, but if I don't get the word of mouth to begin with, like I'm still, still a little bit mad. This guy, he hosts a local TV show. It was his first time with that network, but he'd apparently been doing that kind of work. And he was going to have G on the GNC on. And I said, I'd be fine even like 10 or 15 minutes. And he said he was going to do that. And then, yeah, he had a couple other people on his crew, but we get there. Cab ride was actually pretty quick and inexpensive. I had a suit on, one of the rare times I wear suits. He's an older guy, and he didn't seem very with it, to be quite honest. And basically, he had G on, I suppose, but didn't really talk about what he thought they were going to, what G thought they were going to talk about, and had somebody else as a second spot, thinking one of us might cancel, but like strongly assuming it for some weird reason. And I think if I'd gotten that 15 minutes on that TV network to say, these are the things that I'm wanting to offer the world, here's how you reach me, I'd like to think I could be doing better. I do my best. I truly do feel I do my best, but I sometimes feel like my best isn't good enough. And prayer, I unfortunately do not believe in strongly enough. There's people all over the world at the same time praying to God, whether they believe in prayer or not. And I'm just one of many. Like, this is where I feel like again, when he can give me one of my angels or a good person, talk with such as yourself, that can be helpful. And I appreciate that. That, I guess, is an answer. But I have hopes. I guess a different way of framing prayers, I would say, is hope. Goal of working out. So you wanted to get in better physical shape and you were focusing on the guitar and you didn't feel you could do both. And I'm not sure why, but okay. Hopefully you pick it up again, man. If there's another instrument you'd like to learn, maybe we can even virtually teach. I've done a couple of virtual music lessons on here, actually, recently. What I always remember was, if you get it fast, it fails. Sometimes maybe, but I think getting your foot in the door, being around the right people at the right time in the right place or whatever, and boom, it can work a miracle too, I would say. If you get it slow and build on it, good foundation that isn't made of sand, it will stand. I do get that though. But even sand castles fall to the sea eventually. Yes, eventually. Because these castles made of sand. Anyway, I'm Ernie. But yeah, so and the hardest part can be staying strong and not giving up. I've had ideation in my life. I have. I could never do that to myself. I could never do it to G, the dog, the people I connect with on here and have started to connect with, and the occasional other. But it's been a quieter chapter. There's been some fallouts, there's been deaths, there's been, and yeah, it's I am very strong-willed, but it is hard to be strong. And I also sometimes think that, who are we and why should we put all of our burdens on God just because he's God? Like, I mean, is that fair to him? Sorry I've been so passionate, but you seem to understand. You seem to. We're all human. we're all living this human experience, and it all affects us differently, right? But also so similarly, and that's also the cool thing. When something doesn't go my way, I always believe God was. I will say I have had that realization. I wish I could remember some specific examples, but I have thought that before. Mm. I'm going to think on that and maybe come back with that one tomorrow. Um, it's been maybe about 3 4 weeks since I kind of thought, well, you know what? Maybe that wasn't meant to happen because such and such. Um, and I know there was, and when you have that realization, oh, it's healing, it's powerful. It's like, okay, I can accept it then. But sometimes it's harder to accept. That's really what it is. Um, Again, I thank you for being a great disciple of your God, who I would say is similar to my. Again, I believe in God because even though so much things are man-made, and I don't talk about religion on here often, but as long as it's with respect, even though there's so much things that are like man-made, when you look at, I mean, yeah, people could argue and say, well, people plant a flower. Who gave them those seeds? Who makes the sky rain? Because a lot of people don't water their gardens very well, you know. Um, like the who a creator of a universe. It just makes sense. It just makes sense in so many ways. And I've also believed in heaven for the longest time, and I've had angels tell me whether they believed in God or not, whether I knew that they did or not. They've met him. I mean, how can I not? I believe my abilities, my gifts, my experiences that I've had for myself and occasionally for others. And how could I not believe that? If they've met him, then he must be real, right? So that's where I'm at with that. Anyway, I think G and the GNC is getting home. We're going to get on with our evening. Unfortunately, I was hoping it would still be a bit more sunny out for our dog walk. You're hearing the dog, but it's kind of the sun's setting, and it's yeah, getting on with our evening. I don't think I'm gonna do, but if I do remember some of those examples, maybe I'll do a quick one because I just have to make sure the door's unlocked. I mean, the screen door. Yeah, because it could be greatly helpful. So anyway, thank you very much. I thank you very much for being here. I hope I see you again sometime soon. Yeah, it's about that time now, but sometimes she's just being silly. um, what is your first name? Out of curiosity. Um, and yeah, thank you for being here, and the other person for sitting here and listening. Again, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. God bless you. If you like, rock. That name rocks. Like, seriously? Well, I guess if you have a bit of an indigenous background, I mean, named after like things in nature and animals and this and that. So I guess it makes sense. I'll do Colors of the Wind next time too, and maybe introduce you to JP and Jason as well. Anyway, well, rock on, rock solid, and here's G getting kisses from our dog. The laptop's kind of boring, and yeah, if you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified next time I roll, either tonight or tomorrow. And I look forward to your next one as well. Feel free to comment after this is posted. I was going to prep it, but I think it's worth it now. I'll just make some note that like it took 2 hours or whatever. But yeah, I'm curious to know what your next video plan is. Okay, take care. Hi.